Welcome to Soft Bites Podcast, your life, your dentistry. We talk about ways to have more fun and meaning in one of the coolest and most rewarding professions in medicine. Conversations on how to bring awareness, create a healthy workplace, and provide emotional insights to make dentistry a fulfilling activity while making space for one's wonder, creativity, and freedom. Here are your hosts, Manuela and George Andre.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Soft Bites podcast, a very special one for the ones that are only listening to us. If you can go to our YouTube channel and you will see me with the turtleneck sweater and a warm tea. And you will see Jorge André in a tropical environment with t-shirt and with the luxurious vegetation surrounding him.
And the only reason,
different.
why I'm wearing a t-shirt is for the respect of the audience. Otherwise, I am without a t-shirt even at night, like 99% of the time. So this is a really cool place to be.
Okay, so tell us where are you?
At this moment, I'm in Costa Rica, in Santa Teresa, it is the first time that I've been in Santa. I've been many times in Costa Rica, but this is the first time here in Santa Teresa. I usually always take about 3 to 4 weeks off between the Christmas and New Year's. So I usually spend my New Year's in a warm country, New Year's Eve. I've been doing that for a couple of years. Last time I had like a surprise. I had COVID while I was on vacation. Last time it was actually here in Costa Rica in a place called Tamarindo, but this time everything went well. And I usually take this time to surf as much as possible, to sleep as much as possible, to be in the nature, and basically to be as monkey as I can be and to be less sophisticated as I can, because it's really something that I like. I don't know if you heard me, but I'm wishing you a very, very happy New Year, because I think that the connection was not very well when I said it to you.
No, I didn't heard you. I'm sorry, but thank you, and the same for
Happy
you.
New Year! Happy New Year! Thank you for all the therapy sessions throughout the year. I hope that we can continue on. So it's been a real pleasure to be on this journey with you. You have been helping me a lot. Sometimes I rarely see the podcast after we record it. But sometimes I have the idea that I don't really want to listen to what I said, because some of the things are a little bit too much. But Happy New Year.
No,
thank you so much.
Thank you. I wish you all the best. It's the same. It's been a really nice journey. It's been really, really fun to do this with you. And actually, I think that every time, in Costa Rica, I think it was 1 year ago, just like you said, that you had COVID. Mm-hmm. But you've been in South America other times already.
And I got COVID as well.
Last year. Yeah, and we tried to record the podcast, and this is actually the first time that we were able to do it. That we were able actually to record while you are there.
But I haven't told you. I have COVID in Costa Rica. I marked positive on the 3rd of January in 2022 in Costa Rica. Then I went to Then I did some traveling in work, and I went to Nicaragua. I think it was in September. I got positive again. I don't know if I told you. I got positive again in Nicaragua for a couple of days, but it was much milder. And we also wanted to record, and we also couldn't record. So finally, we are here. Mm-hmm. So you just have to keep pushing it, and keep holding it. Sooner or later, things will happen, isn't
it? Tell me. I want to ask you what is so special for you in South America and then that part, because you wrote about it. I saw that you wrote about it on Instagram, and you also had this quote that you just posted like yesterday or something about the, like you were saying about
being a monkey,
enjoying to just read. Yeah, that's it. I would like you to talk a little bit about that. Not only what what draws you to South America and that specific part of South America, but also that feeling that you have when you do that, because today we're going to talk about the importance of disconnecting when you are a dentist, the importance that you taking this time off. And of course, you don't have to go to South America to do this. We're going to talk further ahead about that. But for you, I know you have a special feeling when you go there, and you like to connect with that raw part of yourself, with being in situations that you are not used to, with people that you don't know. So tell me a little bit about that, because I think that's special.
Yeah. For me, it's been a common theme, and it's something that I usually express myself regarding this theme, because it's something that it's not an intellectual thing. It's something that it's not something that has any like maybe obvious explanation, but it really connects me with myself like any other area in the planet. So the story is, the first time that I came here to Latin America, it was in 2000. I think it was year 2000. It was in the year after the 11th of September. I think it was 2000 September. And I came to Mexico, to Puerto Escondido. We went there to surf. I did a lot of bodyboard at the time. We went with a couple of friends, 4 or 5 friends. Amazing waves, very heavy waves in Puerto Escondido. And at the time I was about 20, and I just love that. And we went there. It was a few weeks after the 11th of September, and we went to the Pacific coast of Mexico. It was the first time that I ever been in Latin America. So usually you have Latin America, and when we talk about Latin America, you are usually talking about maybe the Caribe, which is like very flat ocean, turquoise water. So this is the Caribbean part of Latin America. The first time that I came to the Pacific part, to an area called Oaxaca in Mexico, which is this huge, this big area near the Ciudad del Mexico, near the Mexico City. And it is in the Pacific area. And you have a lot of beaches there, like Mazunte, Puerto Escondido, Puerto Vallarta, Acapulco. But this area called Puerto Escondido, at the time, it was very well known, especially for the waves. I've heard that now it's like a very touristic place. It has some very, very huge waves, which at my age, and I surf more than I do bodyboard, and I don't have the level to do those waves, because it's a really, really, even if I did bodyboard, it's a really heavy wave, and I'm not as confident as I was in my 20s. But I went there, and we spent like there 3 weeks, and it was the first time that I went to Latin America, and I had this opportunity to lead a very healthy lifestyle. I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would surf, I would come back, have breakfast, sleep the siesta, and then surf again in the evening, and then go to the gym in the afternoon, and having that first connection with the culture in a very raw place. And we are talking 20 years ago. Latin America was completely different. It was much less influenced by the American culture as it is now. But the easiest way that I can, and I think we should not spend too much time or thinking too much about describing feelings, And the thing that I can tell you is that I had this feeling that I was as closest as possible to my body, especially. I never felt as close to my body as I felt in Latin America. And to give you an example, I would wear maybe the same shorts for 1 or 2 weeks. I would, of course, we will always be in the water, in the ocean, and bathing ourselves and showering ourselves. But that simple kind of life that you are connected with your body, you don't have accessories. I mean, you don't have any external accessories that you need to define yourself. I mean, you are you and your body and the connection with nature and the ocean, of course. But sometimes I even had the feeling that I wanted just to lay down on the floor and just feel the energy of that place, And I have never felt that before. And I was like, well, this is normal. This is because I'm one of the first times that I'm traveling to an exotic country. I mean, I thought that this is what traveling for surfing feels like, And I had that connection. That was in September, and that connection was so strong that the next year in 2000, and actually it was two years after. The next year in 2001, there was this trip that we do on the last year of faculty, which is called the in Portuguese it's called Viagem de Finalistas. I don't know how to say that in English, but basically on the last year of dental school we organized a trip. And me and my friend Rui Negrão that studied with me, he also did a lot of bodyboard at the time. We forced things that we could go to Mexico. But no one would like to go to the Pacific Coast because the Pacific Coast is not for partying. I mean, there is partying, but it's a very raw part. I mean, it's not very safe, let's say it. So we forced the journey to go to Cancun, which is on the Caribbean part, and we said, well, let's do this. We will do the trip with all the people of our dental year. We will go there to Cancun, but we will do something. We will anticipate our trip 2 or 3 weeks before. We will land in Cancun. We will get the bus to go to Puerto Escondido. And then 3 weeks later, we'll get the bus again to go back to Cancun to meet the guys, and then we'll go back with them. And he says, well, okay, let's do it. So I completely remember that. We anticipated the journey. We went to Cancun, and we arrived there, and and after, I would say, like 2 hours, we got on the bus, 24 hours on the bus to go to Puerto Escondido. And that was a really, I remember the first time that the first trip that I did the first time that I went with my friends, it was a really rough bus journey. It took like about 8 hours from Mexico City to Puerto Escondido. It was like this incredible journey where even like the driver would stop like for a couple of hours. He wouldn't say anything. He would just go and eat something, would leave everybody on the bus. This huge eat. We would cross rivers. It was just like an adventure. But then when I went with Rui, we also went 24 hours in a row after like a 10-hour trip to Puerto Escondido. I mean, but you are 20s, you can do. I mean, I was completely thrilled because I wanted to feel the same thing again. So we went there. That was on the Eastern break. We went there. I didn't get that much good waves. But I had the same feeling. I had really the feeling that I mean, there's something special about this area of the planet. Then we went back to Cancun, and I couldn't feel the same thing because it's different. And I always, and after that, I think on total, I went to Puerto Escondido maybe 4 or 5 times after that to surf and with friends. And I always felt this connection with Latin America. But a very special part of Latin America, which is the Pacific coast of Latin America. So Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia, Panama, all the area that has a coast towards the Pacific, all that area in Central America, I think there's some special energy there. Even Peru as well. I also feel that. And But I travel a lot to Asia and to other countries and stuff like that. But I think there's something really special that really connects me with that area of the planet. I don't know exactly what it is, but I usually say this. I think that we will find out in a couple of centuries when technology evolves that there's something special about this area of the planet. And do you know also where I felt that? And it's not surprising. Also in California, because it's the same thing. It's the Pacific coast of this area of the planet. I don't know if it's the Incas. I don't know if it's the Aztecas. I just know there's something there that really connects with me, and I really feel that I am as pure as possible in this area. I feel that I am as childish, as innocent. I think that I am the best person that I can be. without any guards, without any layers, and I think the place is here for me. This is where I really feel that. So that's basically it. And ever since I've been traveling a lot to Latin America, to other countries, I've been in Nicaragua, I've been in Peru, I've been in Ecuador, I've been in Colombia, I've been in Panama, and I just, it's just something that I want to keep doing, and this pushes me much more than Asia, for example. And to be perfectly honest, whenever there's an invitation for me to come and speak, for example, Paulo Carvalho, when he invited me to come to speak with him and to give a tour in Latin America, and whenever people from Latin America invite me, I always feel thrilled. And sometimes I really refuse invitations to Europe, because I think that Europe it's not something that I mean, it's different. Maybe when I'm older, I will go, but I think that Central Europe it has the same shops on the central square. It has the same vibe, and I think it's very, very. Of course, there are amazing cities in Europe, but I feel that at this point, a point of time in my life, I want to take advantage of any sort of invitation to come here and feel the energy of this place, because I think there's something that really reconnects me here. So I take every opportunity to come here. So that's basically it. And it's not a logical explanation. It's just something that I really do feel like a baby here. I feel like a monkey here. I feel like I'm connected to my body and to myself as no other area on earth.
I think that's very interesting what you say, and I think that the disconnect to reconnect phrase makes all the sense, because I think that's one of the things that you should try to achieve when you really disconnect from work, when you take a break from work. You really should aim for that feeling of disconnection, but at the same time of reconnection with yourself, with your body. So and that's why when you suggested to do this episode of the podcast, because you were in this mindset, I immediately said yes, because I think this is so important. Because many colleagues, when they think about vacations, or when they think about taking a break, or even a long weekend, on whatever it is that makes sense for you, like I said, you don't need to go to Latin America, but you should aim for that feeling. You should aim not only for disconnection, not only for sleeping and a little bit more, but you should aim for that feeling of reconnection with yourself, with your body. You should aim for, just like you said, for the feeling of true connection with yourself, or feeling like a kid or a monkey, or whatever you want to call it.
Let me ask you a question. For example, you have chosen like a lifestyle which is you have much more control of your time, right? Because you have made an intentional move towards having much higher control and not be so much dependent on patients and stuff like that. So do you, do you like take time off to go to a specific place, or do you just take advantage of this? I mean, it's like, I think that the move that you did was like, if I had made the move of coming and live here, so I would be always in a certain way on vacation. Do you have that feeling?
Well, that's the beautiful of us being different, and all of us enjoy and feel different things. But I think that we have a common sense of things. So for me, my move, like you said, so now that I work and can plan my work in a different way, and a big part of my work is online, that allowed me, for us, so me and Michelle, my partner, to move to the mountains, to the Pyrenees. So we bought a small house in like a shepherd's house, and we were working on it for already for the last years. So it allowed us to now, that's where I am now, it allowed us to come here more often. So, and here we have the connection with the nature. We have the mountains. We struggled a little bit to find a place, because we didn't know if we needed the ocean, if we needed the sea. But then this opportunity came, and Michelle always had the dream of the mountains and, you know, the animals. And here we, for example, we can have two horses that we have. We love horse riding. You can horse riding with the horses in the mountains. I mean, it's magic. We can have a dog. The last year we did that. That was also something that this allowed us. So basically we are in nature, and I feel recharged by that. It's just like you said, right? So it's I mean, nature, of course, has all these wonderful benefits we know, but I completely understand the feeling of me thinking in like being connected with the earth, you know, like earth time. And I love that, and I love this simple life in the middle of nowhere with simple neighbors. And to go to the supermarket, okay, I have to go by car. It's 20 minutes, but I don't mind. I go once every 15 days to the supermarket, and I buy everything that I need. And that gives me the energy that I need in this time of my life. I don't know if next year it will be different,
of course,
but it's something that I like to plan, because I also travel, because we go every month to Belgium.
Yeah.
I still work there. Michelle also. I go to Portugal for my family. I work to Holland, to Portugal, and other places to work also. But now we have this place as a central place in our lives, and that we associate to resting and to disconnecting.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And because in the last year we organized our life in order to put this place together for us to be able to live here. So, and also it was a coincidence, because it was COVID also at the time, but we actually stopped the big traveling. I've been traveling only through Europe.
So I'm curious.
This year I already have something planned, but
I'm sorry, I'm curious. Tell me, what's your typical day like there in the mountains?
Here, my typical day, I already told you this. I have no alarm clock, which is a big thing for me. So I wake up only if I have like a meeting, for example, with someone from the United States, or another place that has another
time
zone schedule. Yeah, that it's really early in the morning. Then, of course, I have to put my alarm. But I naturally wake up around 8 o'clock, between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning. And then I like to have like a slow, like 1 hour, very slow morning, when I don't usually have breakfast, but I have coffee or tea. And I say good morning to my cat and my dog, and I go outside, and I breathe my the fresh air of the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see if, depending on the meetings that I have during the day, I usually plan my day with 4 or 5 hours of work, depending of the meetings. I try to put my work emails, papers, etc., together with my meetings. So, for example, I'm here with you now.
Mm-hmm.
So I already worked for 2 hours, and after we finish, depending on the time that we are together,
Mm-hmm.
I will work maybe 1 hour more. So if I have meetings and work in the morning, I will work in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'm free, and I go for walks or horse riding, or going for a walk with the Troya, which is my dog. And I also have time for meditation. I also have time for a physical activity, depending on what you feel like up to on that week. And then I love to cook. I always cook dinner. I mean, lunch, you don't usually have a warm lunch. We don't need to.
Yeah.
But dinner, we like to sit and eat. I usually, every day, I'm the one cooking for dinner. We have also a garden, which I take care. So I do a lot of gardening. Last year, I did potatoes,
Very good.
onions,
Very
every
good.
herb. So I have all of that. So I love to cook with that also. So it's like very seasonal cooking. And then
That's
after
so
dinner,
cool.
we always have some time together to be together, or to watch something on TV or on Netflix that we both want to watch. One day one chooses, the other one chooses, and I try not to go to bed very, very late.
Yeah,
So,
same as me. Same as
so
me.
that's basically it. So work comes in a natural way. I try not to work on weekends. So usually weekends we go for big walks or horse riding, or I have horse riding lessons
Yeah.
on Fridays. I'm taking lessons in a group. So Fridays I usually don't work. Also, I have no, or if I work, it's only in the morning for 2 hours maximum. So yeah, that's it.
That's so. I envy
It's not
that.
very interesting.
No,
So
it is. No, I think
that's not
it's.
very
No,
interesting.
I think it is extremely interesting. You know what? Because one thing that I think that you start to realize after after you've been through the typical cosmopolitan lifestyle and you work in big cities and in dentistry, you start to realize the importance of connection with yourself. And for example, I listen a lot on podcasts on healthy lifestyle and longevity, and one of the things that, for example, for me, it's really over the last year really hitting me is your daily rhythm. For example, here I never go to, except on maybe on a New Year's Eve or if we go out to have a beer or something. But usually I never go to bed after 9, 10, which means that I can surf like 5 or 6 in the morning. It's possible for me to do that. And one of the things that I realized, and especially listening to the podcast like the Huberman Lab, is how important it is for you to get sun in the first hour of in the morning when you get up. Because what happens is that when you get up and you get sun in that first hour, that activates the circadian clock that after 16 hours, your melatonin levels go up so that you can fall asleep easily. So that's so interesting. I never thought about it. And that's something that I started to do, which is, okay, I wake up, I go to see the ocean, I go surfing, I get a lot of sun. And it's almost like automatic. I never had a lot of problems sleeping, but it's almost automatic, like at around 9, 10 in the evening, I fall asleep very, very easily like a baby. And I wake up without an alarm clock. And if I need to sleep more, I sleep more. If I don't need, I don't. So that connection with the body, you say it's not that interesting. I think that's where true happiness resides, honestly. It's not only about
Well,
being a
yeah.
monkey, of
I mean,
course.
when I say it's not that interesting, I say it because for other people it might not be that interesting.
Yes.
For me,
Yes.
it's actually it's like you said, it's the result of really on the last couple of years when we started to come here, and I had this time to really make decisions that
Would
I
make you
felt
happier.
it was that's it, that I felt it makes sense for me, that served me better. That
Exactly.
served me better.
Exactly.
So, and it allowed me to, for example, to arrange my work schedule in
Yeah.
in a very smooth way, in the way that works, that I get things done. Also, of course, when I go out and when I go to Belgium, for example, I know I have to be very strict with my agenda. I have
Yes,
to
it's more
plan the
difficult.
trips and the flights
It's more
and my
difficult.
appointments and
Yeah.
meetings and everything. But it works. It really works, and it really allows me to have that connection with myself, and I can and I really feel that for me it helped me, for example, with my creativity. It
Yes.
helped me with my health, of course.
Yeah.
My own
Yes.
health, I feel much better, and also to be even kinder to
Of
others,
course.
not only
Of
to
course.
myself, but it comes in a very natural way. So, and I was going to ask you that, because I mean, I'm like we are talking about my lifestyle, and I'm including work on that.
Yeah.
But I want to for you to tell me that connection that you have with yourself when you do this period, and you feel and that you can disconnect and you can connect with yourself. What do you bring after to your work? What reflection does that has then in your work?
I always come a different person. I think I always come a better person, a better version of myself. Because I always try to read a lot. In this case, for example, I was about to tell you this. There's this amazing book that you need to read. I'm reading the Audible version. It's called Letting Go, from David Hawkins. He's a psychiatrist. He was a very well-known psychiatrist on the 50s and 60s in the US. It is such a pearl of a book, Manuela. It really is such a pearl. You have to listen to it. The audio version is absolutely amazing. The authority that it talks about the importance of emotions and how to deal with emotions and letting go emotions, and not avoiding emotions and sticking with the emotions and feeling through the emotions. It's such a beautiful book. And you know that both of us have read a lot on the subject, but it really is impactful book from Richard Dawkins, Letting Go. It really, it was advised by my friend Alak, which has been on the podcast, and it's a 12-hour audio book, and I've been reading it over and over. And after surf, I go to the beach, I just listen to it, I fall asleep, and I go back and I listen to it again. It's such a nice book. And for example, that book is making me a different André. I will be a different person after reading that book. Because it's one of the things and I'm not a very esoteric guy. I'm a very evidence-based guy, but it is true. I mean, your emotional state, people can feel it. I mean, if you are too busy on your day-to-day activities, and if you are busy on making sure that things happen this way, your energy, your mental energy is not the same. I mean, you cannot connect as much with people as if you were aware of what's going on in your head, and you intentionally choose to detach yourself from that emotion, whatever that is. It may be pride, it may be anger, it may be sadness, whatever it is. If you are able to let go from that emotion, you are much more available for more positive connection with others. And also, you will be much more tolerant if you see that everybody is much more innocent than we think they are, because we are all victims of the circumstances that we are. And if you look at person in that certain way, I mean, you can understand them. You can be much more understanding. And a very interesting thing that happens is that things seems like they fall into place. I mean, people react to your emotional state more than you think, isn't it? And if you even if you say the same thing through a different emotional state, I mean, it seems like things fall into place. And it happened to me a lot this year. It happened to me over and I think the podcast has also something to do with that. Over the last 2 years, even though I had a lot of emotional challenges, I had a lot of professional challenges. I traveled a lot. I did the construction in my practice. There was a lot of new renewal of staff. And it seems like the better person I became, the better I did financially even, which is something surprising, isn't it? And sometimes even if you are not as much in your practice, it seems like people get they care. The more you care about other people, the more they care about you and your business. That's one of the biggest lessons that I learned over the last 2 or 3 years. And sorry, but I drift from your question. I have this bad habit.
No. You were
yes,
answering the question. The question
yes,
is just how
go
you
a different
carry
person. Yeah.
that feeling to your everyday work. Because I think, like you said, that's the point, is that it makes you a better professional.
Yes.
To have this connection with yourself, to have this moments of disconnecting and connecting with yourself. So it's like, because this is something that I would like for the ones that are listening to for this to be very clear. It's not about just taking vacations, not about just resting, it's not about sleeping better. No, it's really to have this connection.
And I think that reading, I think we are all different. Some of us are more emotionally mature than the others, and I completely understand that. I am not an emotionally very mature guy, let's say it. I mean, I think I'm the typical man, which is we are very limited emotionally. I've been working. I mean, we are not all like that, but I'm especially limited. I'm not a jerk, of course, but there's a lot of things that I had to work on over the last, I would say, 10 years of my life. And but I'm becoming more aware of them. I think I'm a better leader. I think I'm a better person, and I think I'm a better partner. I think I am a better friend. I'm not perfect. I still have a lot of things going on, but I think that I usually use these moments to deliberately go inwards and try to understand myself, and how can other people, how do we actually work, and I don't think that you can work on yourself without dealing with emotions, honestly, and I think that we are more victims of emotions of what we might think, and it's very liberating when you just surrender yourself to that and you realize, well, this is happening, this is actually quite funny, that what is happening. Maybe I should apologize this person because, but do that in a very light way with yourself and others. And I would highly recommend the listeners to listen to that book, because it's really, first of all, it's written by a psychiatrist, which also gives you, we as dentists, we like to have some authority on scientific authority. And it's very ironic about things, and I think that we can all see ourselves through those struggles, and how funny it is the way that we go through life, victim of emotions, and how some subtle changes can really take us in completely different places. I mean, we all have this idea of ourselves. For example, I have this idea that I am very good at this and I am very bad at that. That's just an idea that I created for myself, isn't it? And well, for example, I am very, very, very good at my professional work, yes, but I have some limitations regarding emotions so. But why do I have these limitations? It's just a story that I told myself, And sometimes if you just let these things go.
And that's something that you say a lot through our conversations, that you are no good with emotions and this and that.
I am getting much better. I am getting much better.
But you need to acknowledge that also. You need
Absolutely.
to acknowledge that, because you still say,
Absolutely.
I'm not good good with emotions, and that's not true. And you are very self-aware. You work on yourself, so you have. I think you're very emotional intelligent. So you should recognize.
Yes, I am.
You should recognize that.
It's true.
And when you said that we are a victim of our emotions, I think that you only are a victim of your emotions if you are not
aware.
Again, emotional intelligence, if you're not self-aware, if you're not aware of them. Because if you are aware of emotions, actually emotions work on your favor, because they are information. So they are information, and they give you precious data for you to give for you to handle life better and challenges better. So you are only a victim of your emotions if you are not emotional intelligent, if you have no self-awareness of emotions, if you are completely disconnected from your body, because your body is where the emotions express. So if you have no connection with your body, then forget, you will be a victim of your emotions, and you keep on reacting. And that's why it's like a circle coming together, right? So again, this connection with your body, that's why it's useful, and that's what it will do for you. It will make the connection for you to recognize your own emotions.
I'm listening to you, and I'm just listening to the book. Exactly. You will love the book. You'll have to place that book on the queue for your next reading, because you'll absolutely love it.
I wrote it here, and I'm going to post it on the comments of the episode.
One of the things that I always like to, of course, I always like to give some advice to our readers, because for some people they may eventually say that, okay, so what can we do? Do I need to go to the north of France, or do I need to travel to Latin America? I mean, you don't need to do that. I think that the most important thing, I can do that now because I've oriented my professional life in order to be able to do that, just as you. I mean, it took me like 10 years to be able to take this amount of vacation and to gather a team, to gain their trust, and it's not easy. Mm-hmm. But if I look back now, what would I have done different? I would be much more respectful of my body. I would be much more respectful of my body. Yeah. And because exactly what you are saying, if you're not connected with you cannot connect with your body if you go out every time, if you smoke too much weed, if you drink a lot of alcohol. That's my personal point of view. I mean, everybody is different, but I think there are some patterns.
And if you spend your days in automatic pilot, just reacting to whatever the days throws at you and just reacting, you are completely disconnected.
Exactly. Yeah, mm-hmm. I would have much more respect with my body. I would have probably prioritized sleep much more. I would probably not go out as much as I did. I mean, it just phases in your life. I would do more physical activity that I did. Of course, that when you are running a practice, it's difficult. It's not easy, and it all comes in different stages in your life. But I think that even if you are in your place, there's always something that you can do, and of course that you should make the moves in your life and change in your life that you think are necessary to bring you to the correct place. But I think there are many little things that you can do, like meditation, physical activity, sleep better, mm-hmm. go to bed earlier, mm-hmm. Get more into nature, get more into the ocean, read good things. One of the things that there's that phrase that you are the average of the 5 people that you most hang out with. And that was quite frustrating like 20 years ago, because you only had like your city. But today you can actually curate what you see on social media. You can actually choose the books that you read. You can actually choose the podcast that you listen to. And the more you are connected to the things that make you feel good, the more you will be close to that sort of mindset. So I think it's very interesting what you can do today with social media. You have so many amazing podcasts. You have so many amazing people that post some very interesting things on social media. I mean, you have so much amazing audiobooks. I really feel connected to the author, for example, when I listen to an audiobook like for 2 or 3 days. It's something, this sort of opportunity, I didn't have that in my 20s. I really didn't. So yes, there's an excess of information, but you also need to filter that, and you also need to really consume the kind of information that makes you feel good, that makes you feel towards the person that you want to be. So yes, I think I always go a different person, but I do that intentionally, especially through reading, especially through audiobooks. Like I told before, I usually work about 1 or 2 hours a day, email and WhatsApp for the practice. I also use traveling to write an article. I really go deep into that. I've been writing an article that's been now accepted for publication over the last 3 years, so I'm very, very thrilled with that. And I wrote a lot of that on vacation. But for example, this time I've been traveling really, really very little. I've been mainly beach, ocean, supermarket, cook at home, relax, go to bed early. Yeah, I've been here like for 2 weeks, and yesterday it was the only time that I actually watched Netflix. By the way, did you saw that movie Stutz?
Yeah, we talked about that in one of the episodes.
So nice, such a nice movie.
Nice.
Such a nice movie. Nice movie. So that's it. That's it. It's actually quite simple.
I think it's. Mm-hmm. It's quite simple, and you said very important things. Not only the way that you should take care of yourself on your daily basis, and that you have the control to do that, and you have the power to curate your own days and your own life and the thing that you expose yourself to. So that's very important. And of course, taking walks in nature, even if you live in a city, you can do that just for 5-10 minutes. It has an effect, a physiological effect on you. So that's very important. But also, this kind of breaks that you are taking now, and you are doing it for 3 weeks, and it can be 1 week, it can be one long weekend, it can be 2 weeks, it can be 1 month, 3 months. But these pauses are very, very important. You should take pause not only from your work, because it's a very intense work, dentistry. You really need to really disconnect. It will affect, again, your creativity, or you will return a different person, just like you are saying. You will be a better professional, bring different insights to your job. So it will do wonders for your mental health as a dentist. You should take breaks from your family.
Of course.
No, I'm not.
And why not?
This is true. I'm not saying the breaks from your family has to be.
I'm gonna place the finger in the wound. Why not also take breaks from your partner?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was saying. Family, it includes partners and kids.
Of course.
It includes especially women, because women are with kids. They sometimes feel
that's something.
pressure.
That's a very that's a very taboo issue. For many years, I used to travel alone to Latin America, and I did many trips alone. And that was kind of weird, for many people. So why is he alone? There's something wrong with him. Maybe he's gay, or maybe he's strange. Maybe he's a lunatic, or maybe he's like this. Whatever that is, But it still confuses people. What's so wrong about intentionally wanting to be alone and assuming that it's a very amazing way to travel? And I think that we all need some time alone throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. I think that we should stop judging that. I mean, there's so many judgments that we see on the, I would say, normal society, and we see a lot of that. We were even posting about the last post that we did on the podcast was about the things that we post, what we show on social media, and this perverse effect that has on people, that everything is perfect, and that you need to have that nice car, that you need to do, and that's all searching for acceptation that we all do in a certain sense. But I think that we should be aware that makes us very, very empty, doing what other people, because you end up doing a lot of what other people are expecting you to do, or the image that you are expect to be from yourself. I mean, isn't it? I mean, you want to show the abs, you want to show the muscles, or you want
questioning your choices.
Yourself.
It's like
exactly.
you don't make choices for yourself.
Exactly.
So it's very useful, this breaks that you take from work and from your family, for you to question yourself really about your choices, and it goes back to what we were saying. I mean, to connect with your body and to make choices that make sense for you, that serves you better.
And to answer the question,
that might be completely different, a completely different journey or road that your friend or that your family does. So I think that. Yeah.
I think that, for example, in the first time that I came to Latin America, I had this huge reconnection with my inner light, with my inner self, whatever that is. But I never dropped that. I mean, even when I'm working, I always am aware or I try not to forget as much as possible of exactly who I am, and who I am a giving, happy person. That's who I am. That's the person that I feel. Deep down, I'm a happy, giving person as much as I can. And even this description is not accurate, because you cannot describe who you are. You can only feel it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, well, I am a little happy kid, but actually it's a feeling. It's not something that I can describe. It's just like pure connection. It's love, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So, but I always try to reach that closer and closer when I disconnect from my normal day life. But also when I'm in my normal day life, I try to, which is much more difficult, in every decision, in every interaction, to be more connected to that inner light, whatever that is.
You were telling me about this connection that you have with yourself, of feeling that's who I am, that you can transport when you are working, and that you can get in touch to when you are working. And I think that's very, very important, because, and for the ones that are listening, to understand that this connection, you have to be very intentional about cultivating it. This connection with yourself, and those times when you take a break and you really get in touch with yourself, you really reconnect with yourself. Only by doing that, and of course by taking good care of you, and also doing things that help you to remember and to achieve that connection, like, for example, meditation, walks in nature, good rest, all of those things that you already said. But only by doing that, then you can access that connection and that feeling during your work days. Because in a job like dentistry, which is so stressful, it's so easy for you to just get in the autopilot mode and just get to the flight fight mood.
Yeah.
And you described it beautiful, that even when you are working, you can connect with that feeling of just, this is who I am.
Yes.
I'm just a guy, a simple guy. So don't you think that you can only access that connection even when you are working, because then you work on yourself, and you on purpose take this breaks and this time away, and to connect really deep with yourself?
I think it is a mix of you have to work on yourself. You have to be, your mind needs to be rested. You need to be intentional. Meditation is good. I think reading about this is good. Reading on books, and maybe going on retreats. But just being curious about who exactly am I? Am I this guy? Am I this guy that has the desires to have a well-decorated place, a good car, wear good clothes, be very well, have the praise for other people for my professional success, have the praise for my family, have the praise for my friends? Am I this guy that needs the recognition? Am I that person? Or am I a person that's just willing to give that without any sort of recognition? That doesn't need I wouldn't say that doesn't need, but am I willing to keep giving all of that without being addicted to the recognition of that? Do you understand? And I think you have to be I'm talking about myself. I think ego exists for a reason, because it makes you survive, isn't it? I think it is important, and I think that all these emotions, like you were saying, that you were correcting it. They are important because they give you clues on how to live your life. Anger is important, frustration is important, apathy is important, pride is important, glamour is important, all of that. But and honestly, again, I really think you'll love the book. It's because it's very practical. And one of the parts of the book is about glamour, and it was really ironic on the stuff, which is people today, they get pride on how expensive things they have, isn't it? And it's very interesting. So it's like sometimes you you buy a piece of Gucci or Balenciaga shirts that cost like $100, and you get pride on being robbed, isn't it? You get glamour on being completely robbed. How crazy is that? But then there's also the opposite side, which also from the back door, which is okay. So I don't like that. I have the emotion of being against that, and I take pride on the opposite, which is I'm going to buy very cheap things, and my pride is about getting good value for money. So it's the same sort of pride. Do you understand? So there's nothing wrong with either of those as long as you are detached. As long as, yes, I am enjoying these things, I am enjoying my car, I'm enjoying my vacation, I'm enjoying my money, but my I am not dependent on that. I am not those things, I am not the guy, or I try not to, I need recognition, of course. We all need recognition and love and all of that, but I'm that's not what defines me, because I think that if we go through, and it's not because of any ethical reason or any spiritual reason, it is because that will lead you to a lot of pain. I mean, pride, how fragile is pride? How fragile is that you are priding yourself? Because pride implies that you can also be criticized. It's a dual thing, isn't it? I mean, if you rely yourself, for example, I got this huge kick of dopamine when I got my 3-part article accepted in one of the best magazines of aesthetic industry in the world. It will be out this year, and I feel so good about that. I feel so good about that. So, and I always think, okay, so Andre, why are you going to feel about it? It's because you're going to post something saying how good you are and you made this and this is very good. Well, in part, yes. But how about taking joy from actually trying to make something that can really make an impact on other people and can make an impact on patients, and also an expressing of who you are, the pictures that you took, the schemes that you did, the phrases, how you phrase them, your thoughts, your insights. How expressive is that? That's an expression of you, isn't it? And if you see that from that perspective, you will be much less suffering from when the harsh criticism arrives, because they will arise. Because criticism will arise either within a relationship, either within your team, either within professionally. Even for example, the process of reviewing the article, they were completely harsh on me. They were like, "Oh, this is mediocre." Some of the reviewers, "This is mediocre dentistry. This reveals media." I mean, you just get this slap in your face. I mean, you think that you have this amazing piece of work that you did for 3 years, and this guy, look. This is not right. Over the last 6 months, there were a couple more articles that said exactly opposite, and you are not up to date, and you just have to. It's so different. The peer review process has this thing, which is there's someone there that kicks your ass, and you need to have your ass kicked, because you want your pride and your ego to be unchecked every time. So I think that one of the good things about taking time off and doing things intentionally is that you can actually look. Some emotions, some states of mind are actually a huge trap. Pride is one of the biggest. Glamour is one of them as well. And it's very funny for me to listen to this book, because I think that I got that through my body, and now I understand that through my intellectual, because all this, I have this feeling that I don't need that much to live. I need my body to be good. I need to take care of my body. I need a place to sleep. I need something to eat. I need friends to share emotions. I need to give myself. I need people to help. And of course, that I don't want to live like in a hut or in a bungalow in the beach for the rest of my life, because I need some other stuff. But I know that deep down, I don't need that much. And if I express my creativity in any other way, and if I would be perfectly happy with that, that would be enough for me. But especially I think that I learned, and I'm still learning, how fragile some emotions are, how fragile some states of mind are. And it's very tempting that, especially in your 20s and your 30s, to go after that. And I couldn't have done my career if I didn't have ego, if I didn't have that's why it is important. I want to be better. But I think that you always need to detach yourself from the emotion and think, okay, so why do I want to achieve this? Is because I want to look good for other people? That might be. But if I want to look good for other people, what happens is that eventually I will look bad. And how will that affect me? How will I deal with that? Because it's just a question of time, and that happens. And when you listen to this book, and you have this crystal clear idea that everybody goes through that. The more achievement you are, and the more glamour you try to show, and the more pride you have in your achievements, the more fragile and the more susceptible you are to any sort of outside criticism that will appear sooner or later, because you'll not be the best for the rest of your life. You'll not have the most expensive car. You'll not have the best practice. You'll not have the best clinical cases. You will never get that. And you are in such a fragile position if you mislead yourself that you are that. You are in such a fragile position, and you are really prone to a lot of suffering. And this is why I try to remind myself that actually, and there's this quote from Diplo, the DJ from Major Lazer, that I really, really love, and it really made me an impact a couple of years ago, which is, in the end, I would like, it's from a DJ perspective. In the end, I would like to be reminded as the guy that showed up on time, clean, ready to do its job, throw a couple of records during this professional life, and in the meantime, had a hell of a time. And I find this such a sweet definition of what success is. Being completely non-pretentious, understanding that you are an important part of the universe, but you are not an essential part of the universe. And the best thing that you can do is to just do your job, show on time, show clean, show with respect to other people, try to help as many people as possible. And in the meantime, try to have as much fun as possible. And I find this quote absolutely amazing, because it completely describes the kind of person that I would like to be. I would like to be happy with only that, and just be as less, even in a conference, I want to be as giving as possible, and as impressive as, and of course you need to impress people to have so it's always a balance. But between giving a good impression of showing off and sharing, between the sharing and showing off, I think there's a balance. That's the place where I want to be, and it's very easy to move that balance towards the show, and we see a lot of that in dentistry. But if I can stick to that show on time, clean, smelling good, ready to do the job, do a couple of lectures, write a couple of articles, and throughout my life have a good time. And I think that's just a lovely way of seeing your life. And I want to remind that. I really want to remind myself of that, because that is really something that connects me to the person that I am, which is, I am good as I am, and I just want to take advantage to other people of what I am. And I don't need to be showing more than I am, or hiding my insecurities, or trying to be someone that I'm not.
Yeah, I was listening to you talking, and it reminded me that another important benefit of anyone taking this kind of breaks, of really stopping and disconnecting, is taking a break also from yourself. So you're
Exactly,
telling your
from the
mind,
image,
your thoughts, your overthinking, your overdriven mind. That's very important too, because only by that then you can see another side, and only by that you can have some self-awareness of your own behavior. Only by that you can really get in touch with some emotions that you are not aware during your normal day, that like you said, that we all have, and sometimes with everything that is happening, it's not easy for us to access them. So this kind of disconnection, this kind of time off that we are talking about also allows you to take a break from yourself, from your own mind, which I think is very important, and it will make you reach a lot of those conclusions that you were just talking about. And also I think it's very important to underline that taking these breaks needs learning. It's sometimes you feel guilty about it, so you should learn to take these breaks and not feel guilty about it. Like, for example, when we were talking earlier about the family, right? So you don't have to take 3 months away from your family, but I think it makes sense. A week, once a year, whatever it makes sense to you and to your life, but it really makes sense to take breaks, this kind of breaks, even from family, because family life is very demanding. Also, relationships are demanding. Children ask for constant attention. So it's very I think very, very important also, for not only for you to know yourself better, but also to realize that when you come back, your world is still there. Everything worked. Everything worked. Your clinic is still working. Things go on without you. So, and I think that you will return and you appreciate everyone and everything even more. And you can move. You will bring not only all this knowledge and all this connection with yourself that will serve your profession better, but also you will move forward with more peace and clarity. So I think it was very useful, this conversation that we had, because this kind of disconnection that we just, I will call it disconnect, reconnect with yourself. I will say it again, it goes much further away than just sleeping well or just normal vacations. Do you have friends that say to you sometimes when they go on vacation, like, oh, I just came from vacation, now I need vacation from vacation? That they will come back.
I was about to talk to you about that. Let me tell you a story. There's this guy
of disconnection that we are talking about, just to be clear. But tell me the story.
But you know what? Do you know what? The thing is that, for example, this guy he was an IT guy he had digital advertising companies in Argentina in 2015, and they were doing a lot of money at that time because they were basically selling data to big companies, even without people knowing. And he had a few partners, and he dropped because he couldn't stand the unethical part of that. He says that we are being watched all the time and we are being listened all the time. And he says that it's enough. I just got my money. I just bought a millionaire home in Argentina. And you know what he does now? And actually it was very funny because we were at the beach, and his partner is a dentist, and he was basically selling things on the beach. This guy he says, well, I can connect with people, and he could see that he was not he would sell effortlessly because he was just this very silent guy. Would just go there, look, I have this to offer. And it was very funny because I connected with him. We connected with him because we give him. I said, well, I don't have I only have like $20. I cannot, he said, oh, I don't have change. And I was like, and he said to me, okay, so I'll give it to you for free and then you'll pay me. I said, no, I'll give you the $20 and I'll get the credit for that. So then he always stopped and talked to us and stuff. And we were talking about many things, about sustainability, about social media, about the dangers of social media, about the dangers of AI and stuff like that. And then one of the things that he says, I've been traveling a lot, and the thing that I learned most about traveling is there should never be anything like what you have to. You don't have to do anything. So the have to is a killer of life. I mean, you don't have to go on vacation and get yourself completely exhausted because you go on tour here, on tour there. You want them. I mean, it's, for example, I came on vacation And of course, it's very tempting. This is why it's very important to choose wisely the persons that you go on vacation with. Because some people like to wear themselves out on vacation. I mean, I've done that in my 20s. I don't want to do that. I mean, if I want to go on a tour, I will go on a tour. If I don't want to go on a tour, I will not go on a tour. If I want to go on the beach, I will go on the beach. If I don't want to go, I will not go. If I want to stay in the beach and not have lunch, I will stay there. Why? Because I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be in a certain way. If I want to surf early in the morning, I will surf. If I want to go have a gin, I will go. If I don't want to have, I will not go. And it's very important that you, and hope, and special, and I'm very fortunate of that most of my trips have been done with people that are very understanding, and I think that you also have to teach them these things, that you don't have to do anything, because there's this, well, since I am here, I have to get my butt on a bus for 2 hours and pay $150 just to go and see a monkey with everybody photographing it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need to do what you have to do. What does it feel like doing at this point in time? Because when I come to Latin America, I like to stay in a spot. I like to rent a car and have freedom to do whatever the fuck that I want, you know? And that may be to stay at home. And I think that's a big part of listening to your body, because I think there's a lot of haves to, just because you have to take the pictures home, or just because you have to post those things. Why not stay in the same place for 15 days? Why don't connect with yourself for 15 days? Just go surfing, home, eating, sleeping, surfing, home, eating, sleeping. If I feel that, why not? If I feel that I come here and I have to work 8 hours on the computer, if I want to, I will do it. Why not? Because I feel like I want to do it. So the have tos, and he was telling me in this in Spanish. So el tengo que ese es un asesino. You don't have to do anything. You just have to listen to yourself and do what you want to do. And you have to feel that. And all this is why these things get more difficult if you travel in large groups. 1 is very good. 2, sometimes it's better. 3, sometimes it's too much. And I've been traveling for many years with large groups, with smaller groups, and I know exactly what I'm saying. It's not because that people are good or bad. It's just because we all have different vibes, and you always, and for example, I am this guy that when it's traveling, I always want to make sure that people around me are comfortable. And I always sometimes place their interests in the beginning of the vacation. I always let them do whatever they want, because I know exactly that I cannot confront, so let's do this until they slow down. And then they feel comfortable to do exactly what they want. And I have so much experience in traveling in groups that I feel very comfortable saying this, that you need to be able to understand these energies, and you need to, if you travel in a group, you need to be able to dance through these energies. But if you want to go on a vacation, that you want to feel yourself and do exactly what you want to do, 1 or 2 persons is usually the better. I mean, if you are with someone, with your partner, go with your partner. If you want to go with 2 or 3 couples, they better be on the same. It's very important that, and I've been hearing so much stories from people that travel like 2 or 3 or 4 couples, that things don't go well. And I was like, I know exactly why that happened, because you haven't prepared stuff. Because, for example, even even if I travel with someone, I always say, look, this week I'll do this, and the next week, look, if you want to come with me to travel, I am I will do whatever I want for this. I will do and I tell them before I travel, look, I will watch you down on anything. So just to wrap it up, I think it's very important to understand that you don't have to be anything or do anything, or you don't have to go to, if you go to New York, you don't have to go to the Central Park. I mean, if you don't want to be at the main square, you don't need to go. I mean, you just need to do, for example, if I go to a city, what do I like to do in cities? I like to go to museums.
I would take that have to advice a little bit further, not only on holidays, really on your days.
Yeah.
Just take care of that have tos that you have to do on your normal days also. Every time I have a have to, of course, you have to do certain things, especially at your work. And we've been talking a lot about that. That's why protocols and systems help in a dental practice, for example, because you know exactly what you have to do, and that makes your life a lot easier. But during your day, there's a lot of things that we do that we think we have to, just maybe because we are used to do them. So take notice also during your day, for the ones that are listening, to the have tos of your day. I have to. I always ask myself when I have something demanding my attention, that I'm always back and forth in my mind. Yeah, but I have to. I always ask myself, well, why do I have to? The same thing as I cannot do this. Why can you not do this? So,
or you're not worth, or sorry, you are not worth of. You are not worth of.
So really
this is not. This is
and
out of my league.
Yeah.
This is out of my league.
It's true. You are absolutely true. I think that during what you are saying, that during when you take this kind of breaks, this have tos, if you pay attention, it will give you a completely different experience. And if you start doing that, then, and you should, of course, start in those states where you have more freedom. But once you start doing it, then take it for your normal life also, because I think there's so many things that we do just because we are used to, or because we think we have to do, or what other people will think of us if we don't do them. It's like it's like this story about I don't know if I ever told you this story, or if I've ever told it here on the podcast, but about this lady that did the colleague that did the stress reduction course. And in the end of the course, I always ask, well, what's the main impact of the course with you? And she asked, I always went to this same place at the same restaurant to have lunch. And I arrived and I asked, I didn't even have to ask. I already had my lunch and the cola zero, the light, cola light on my table. What I discovered with this course is that I don't even like cola zero, cola light. So there are certain things that you are just used to do, ask questions. You drink coffee, 4 or 5 coffees a day. Do you really need it? Why do you drink it? Because coffee has an impact on your body. So you don't have to drink 4 or 5 coffees a day. Oh no, I have to, otherwise I have a headache, if you start bringing this awareness to the small things of our day, and that which are not so small, they have a huge impact on us, then your day starts shifting. There is a shift for the better, of course. So I think what you said is really, really important, and you should try it on your vacation. It will give you a different experience, and then take that experience to your normal days, and you will find very interesting things also. And you start living them, not only ruled by the I have to, but by your what you feel better, what you feel it's better in according to yourself. So I think that's very good way of us finishing. Sorry for my or my intervention here, but I think these are very important things, and it's a way of showing that these breaks that you take, the way that you disconnect, really can have an impact after of the way you live your life. So you really bring all that wisdom and all that connection with yourself, and all the things that you discover, and all the insights into your daily life, into your work also. So it's really, really, really important, and just be very aware of the red flags that your body gives you. And sometimes when we are disconnected from our body, we don't listen to them, and we don't see them. But if you are tired all the time, even when you wake up in the morning, if you are feeling always this feeling of exhaustion and disconnection with yourself and with others, if you are always complaining that others don't respect you or don't understand you, if you need caffeine or sugar to get through your day, if you feel anxious when you think about doing the have tos of your life, just think about taking a real break. You don't have to go to South America or to the
Of
mountains, but
course.
maybe you can take just 3 days for yourself, and or you can, I don't know, a retreats are good for that also. But do something that takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone also, that yet you
Yeah.
can also take a break, like we were saying before, for your own thoughts, and that you can really feel that connection with yourself. And I'm talking about retreats because sometimes you don't have the tools to reach this connection by yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need
Yes.
some
You
guidance.
need guidance. Yeah.
Sometimes you need some guidance, but it is possible, and you will have all these benefits. And it's you can take, and you can be such a better professional if you really disconnect this way, and you can reconnect, and you can listen. Then you can listen to yourself during your work days, and to follow, like you said, you can call it your inner wisdom, or what you can
Yeah.
work in a more authentic way. You can work more connected to yourself, and that immediately bring an instant connection with others, and it's like, it feels like magic. Like you said, it's last year, it seems like things fallen into place
Yeah.
without effort, and that brought even money and other kinds of fulfillment. But it's just because that's because you make things, and you live in a way that feels right to you, and then the right things, you
Will
pay
happen.
attention to them. Yeah, you pay attention to them, because I believe that the right things, they are there. Sometimes we are just so
Yes.
disconnected from ourselves that we don't see them. We keep on seeing just what we are used to see, just like yeah. So you
Yeah.
have to have the courage to sometimes take this time off, to take these breaks, to not feel guilty about it
Yeah.
also, and to have fun also with that, and to carry all that wisdom then to your life, and to your work. Okay, thank you so much, Andre. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you,
once
Manuela.
again.
That was a
Enjoy
different episode with a different background.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your holidays. Enjoy your time, and we'll meet again once you're back in Portugal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Manuela. Don't forget about the book, David Hawkins, Letting Go. It's an amazing book. You will love it, and also for the audience, and honestly, I've been reading a lot about that sort of stuff, and I really think this is something that adds up. It really adds up, and yeah, thanks for having the time again, Manuela, with me. This is the first podcast we are recording this year.
True. And
Let's wait for many.
let me just say, because I forgot that we have our course, and one of the reasons why we
Yes,
do it in
exactly.
Sagres for 3 days, it's for this reason exactly.
Exactly.
It's for people to be able to disconnect from their normal life, to be surrounded in this amazing
Yes.
Environment that is Sagres, with all that energy. And one of the things that we give them in the course is these tools on how to connect with themselves. So not only we give the logistics, the systems, the protocols, but also the part of the mindset on how and that's the part of the conscious leadership, how you can be a leader, a dentist who influences people in a positive way, being in connection with yourself. So that's part of the reason why we do the course in 3 days. And in Sagres, it's all because of, it's all connected to everything that we just spoke during this last hour. Okay,
Absolutely.
just go to softbites.online, and the next edition is going to be in April, and all the information is there. So thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for everyone that listens, and we'll see you on the next episodes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.